Well, good evening, everyone. And if you've followed this channel at all, you know that I'm reasonably obsessed with the Panasonic Mr. Slim radio series. This is an RF-015. This is the one I wanted, and I bought this one, which has cleaned up beautifully. It still needs an electrical restoration. AM works fine on it. This is also the 32, I think. Yes, the 32. This is much later, and this works just fine. But this isn't about the radios at all, and we'll put those aside. This is about the cases. One of the things that I found with these radios is that if you get the cases, there are often rips and damage to them. Like if we zoom in here, you can see that that one, this is from the 15, that there's a big rip in the vinyl there. And I've been thinking about how to fix this. There are a lot of vinyl glues intended for, car seats and stuff. And what I decided to do is I decided to try some of this vinyl tape that's designed for fixing sort of inflatables. And there are a lot of brands of this. This is just the first one I grabbed. And what this stuff is, if I can get the box open. Anyway, I went a little bit nuts with taping it back together. The kit comes with, I don't know what that's for doing piping maybe. That's a bit of the box. But it's essentially just big strips of patching material, alcohol pads for cleaning, and that sort of thing. Some instructions, and a couple of different sizes of patches. There's some little ones in there too. And I've just been cutting off this big one here, as you can see. And I used this to patch this case for the 32. And this, what happened here is that the vinyl had pulled away from the weld here. So what I did is I just, taped it down. And this is entirely hidden behind the radio once it's in place. So this actually works out as a completely invisible repair. It's perfect, right? Not bad, eh? Now this one's a little harder because it's ripped and it's pulled apart. If you were to just put that back together, I think there might even be a missing piece there. Yeah, there is, right? You can see how there's a little, here there's a little sort of strengthening on the corner there, and here that's missing entirely. So here we need to, I'm going to try it again. I don't know if it'll work. I'm actually going to use one of these alcohol pads because I forgot to bring my bottle of alcohol in, so I will use the provided pad. I will say I've cleaned this with alcohol before. To clean it up as well as possible. These actually work quite well. These are not bad things to have, actually, the isopropyl alcohol pads. Most of them are 70%. Sometimes even a little higher. But you can throw them in your first aid kit too. They're convenient there. Okay, so as that dries, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece about the thickness. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to cut a piece that's about the thickness of that. That's a little bit too thick. So let's take a little bit off the edge. And this will be the inside piece. So I'm just going to stick this in place and see how it goes. There's definitely some working time with this. You can remove it when it's in place. Now we'll see if I can do this without making a total. Actually, you know what? That's fine. Okay, and now I'm going to cut a similar piece and put it on top. And this is not going to be an invisible fix by any means, but it should hold it. And the advantage of this over glue of any sort, and there are, as I said, a number of different kinds of glues you can get for vinyl and glue-on patches. The advantage of this stuff is you could take it off and redo it if you wanted to. Well, it's not entirely square, but anyway. So this one, well, it's not super pretty, but let's see, does it work? I could maybe have made that a little tighter, but I'll zoom out, but you know, there it is. I could always redo it if I wanted to, but it stays in its case, no harm done. Not an invisible repair. I'm tempted, yeah, to put another piece under here because that's ripping out there, as is this one. You can see as these things get older, the vinyl gets fairly fragile. So this is the way I fixed the other one. I'll just put that right on there like that. That should patch up that weak spot. And we'll cut a similar one. Out of this. And I'll stick it along there like that. Now, as I said, I've not tried this before. Well, before now anyway, or before this one anyway. But I think this is a fairly viable way of patching these things together. Obviously, if it's totally shredded and it's one of the calculator ones that has very, very fine things, I'm not sure I could do it. But, you know, it makes it usable. Anyway, just a brief video. I'm looking forward to getting this radio going, but I may need to order some parts. This had a name written on it. It was all covered with cigarette smoke, I think. I cleaned the whole thing off, and it cleaned up beautifully. And the case had to be cleaned up as well. But, you know, apart from a little yellowing on these, and I did have to tighten the volume control. Yeah, the volume control, that is a real screw. On the tuning connection, it is not. But this just came out beautifully. It looks great. Anyway, thanks for watching. As you can follow me through my relatively amateurish repair of these things, I'm hoping to come back sometime in the next little while with a repair of this. And yeah, I've got the schematic for it, but I'm not sure I understand it. So we'll come back with that. Well, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed my little discussion of my attempts to repair these sorts of vinyl pouches, cases, whatever they are.